Hey guys, welcome back. This is Mozsta from Sydney and welcome to another closer look. In this episode, we're going to look at the RSI Arrastra. Welcome back, guys. CIG just announced a new mining ship that is in concept. It's not available now, and there she is, the RSI Arrastra. So let's have a deeper look and look at what information we can digest at the moment. So starting off with this glorious picture of the Arrastra in action, you can see the 3 mining lasers hard at work, and that's a key thing here, is that it has 3 mining lasers. It also has 3 turrets as well to protect the ship. It has that, again, that angular, sleek look that RSI design language uses, that I'm just falling more and more in love with. I think this is a very slick, mean looking mining machine, and yeah, I love it. I love it. Let's see what its big picture role is. So tackle the biggest jobs in the farthest reaches of the galaxy with RSI's flagship deep space mining rib. Large scale operations that would traditionally require a vast multi-ship fleet. So here it's already telling you how flexible this ship is, that it potentially will replace multi-ship fleets that do the same thing. A completely self-contained mining platform with habitation for 5 crew. It's got 3 independent industrial mining turrets, which we just saw. An onboard refinery, guys. So, look, I love drawing pictures, guys. So I couldn't help myself. This is mainly aimed at new players. I want to show you guys the difference between having an onboard refinery on your ship compared to a ship that doesn't have their own refinery. So I've prepared this picture earlier. I hope you enjoy the artwork. So here are the steps needed for a ship that doesn't have a onboard refinery, right? So step number 1 is you have to mine the resource. Step number 2, you have to take the raw material to a refinery somewhere. It could be another ship. It could be a spaceport. So you take your stuff to the refinery. The refinery refines it into processed material. That takes time, and then you have to transfer that processed material onto some sort of transport ship so that you can transport it to the marketplace and sell it. Okay, so these are the steps for not having your own refinery on board. If you do have a ship that has its own mining and refining capabilities, it looks like that. So you mine your resource, you refine it on board, and you immediately transport it to a marketplace to sell. Nice and easy. So it'll be interesting to see how CIG sort of balance all of this out to make other ships that don't have onboard refinery still plausible. So I've got my own thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts about the difference between an onboard refining capability as opposed to an external refining capability. So the advantages, and these are just stuff I jotted down, guys. It's less risky in my eyes because you just mine your goods, you refine it, and you immediately beeline it to the marketplace to sell. Whereas with transferring it to another refining ship, then you have to transfer onto a logistics ship. They're kind of 2 legs of faffing about in the verse that could expose you to pirates and 30Ks or whatever, right? So I think it's a less risky when you've got the refining on board. It could be less time consuming as well, because as soon as you mine the stuff, you can start refining the stuff, and when you place the order in the refinery, the time starts ticking. But I don't really know. Maybe onboard refiners actually take a lot longer. I'm not sure, which might defeat the purpose, because then it actually makes it a lot more risky, because if someone comes and destroys your ship when you got, you know, a full refiner, then actually the risk is actually, I don't know if it's less risky now. I've kind of thought myself out of that. Yeah, there might be more risky, because now you've got stuff being refined for hours on end on your ship. Who knows? Actually, yeah, let me cross out the less risky. It's yet to be determined. So less time, less resources, in the sense that it's just one ship. You don't need another logistics ship to transport your stuff around, things like that. So some disadvantages of maybe having a refinery on board is potentially less profitable. There might be refiners on space stations and stuff that just give you way more profit. They're much bigger facilities that can take a lot more stuff, and they're much better at refining certain elements and things like that give you more payback. Again, that's just a theory, but these are things that CIG will have to balance out and stuff. Less scale, in the sense that you'll mine some stuff and your refiners get full, and you'll have to wait for those refiners to finish. Whereas maybe if you have a fleet of moles or something, you can just go mine and distribute your orders amongst different. You have the flexibility of where you want to place your orders in different refineries, and you can continuously mine and dump your stuff at space stations and things like that. So less scale a little bit. Less flexibility from a mining perspective, in the same sense that you can you're stuck with this refining on your ship. So is it good at doing gold? Is it good? See, these are sort of unknown. That's why I've got question marks. So I'd love to hear everyone's opinion. So can you upgrade and change your refiner on these ships? I don't know. Is it a component that we'll be able to change? I'm not sure, but you'll have less flexibility, in the sense that when you're sort of got your mole or your prospector, you can kind of choose where you want your stuff to be refined, if that makes sense, to try and maximize profit. So yeah, anyway, that's the stark difference between having a refining ship on board and not. I just love squiggling pictures, so there we go. Let's have a look at the specs of the ship. So here she is. You can see it's a big wide RSI ship. Again, angles, but I do love the look of it somehow. The more I stare at these ships, the more I fall in love with it. So you've got the two mining heads on the tip of the ship, and then you've got one in the center, which is behind the bridge. Here is the cockpit, or the bridge is sort of a third of the way down the ship. You got these, which I believe are VTOL engines that will pivot, and then you've got the turrets, which are one on each, like side to side, like literally on the sides, and one on the back top here, which I think is on a rail system as well. And then you can see the ramp that comes down the back. I think it's got an elevator in the middle, and I think it's got a docking port here on the side that you can see as well. And you can see the Rock DS, the scale of the ship. You easily fit two of them in the back there, which is quite very useful actually. So let's have a deeper look at the stats. It's a mining. I don't know if its role is actually just mining. I think it's mining and refining, to be honest. It's got a crew of 5, which is not that bad at all for such a large ship. You and the same crew that you would take on a mole, you could easily take the Arrastra, which is pretty cool. You got one pilot seat, one co-pilot seat. This confuses me, guys, and I'd love the help of the community to explain this to me. It's got 3 mining heads. It's got 3 turrets, right? So here it says it's got 2 mining/gunner stations. So why isn't it 3 mining/gunner stations? Why is it 2? And then you got 1 engineering station. Does the engineer? I don't understand, guys. Who controls the 3rd head and the 3rd turret? Can someone please explain that to me, because I'm a bit confused by that. So another thing is that the stations, though, that you do your mining, you can, I think, easily transfer into a gunner station, gunner turret as well. So they're all remote turrets, right? Which is really awesome flexibility. Really awesome. So you'd be mining away, you get attacked, the same dudes just switch over to the turrets and now control the turrets, which is really awesome, I think. It's got 64 SKU of internal storage and 500 SKU of external storage racks. This is my understanding of how this storage works. Again, guys, please educate me if I've got it wrong. The 64 SKU internal is classical storage. You can do anything you want with it. You can put your drug boxes, whatever, weapons, whatever you find, trading, logistics, all that into the 64 SKU. The 512 is, I think, dedicated to processed resources, process mining, I think. I'm not sure, actually. But I know as you process or you refine your ore, it pops out onto the 512 SKU, I'm assuming. You've got an onboard refinery as well, and you can see all the components are all size 3. It's at that kind of hammerhead sort of constellation level of components, even though it's actually a lot bigger than the Connie. It's a lot bigger, and it's actually bigger than a hammerhead as well. It does have 2 size 3 shields reflecting on its size, which makes it nice and tanky. It's got 3 size 3 remote turrets. The beauty about these turrets, guys, is each one has got 4 size 3 guns. They're like hammerhead turrets, which is quite formidable, actually. That's a good defensive system, I think. And then it's got a bunch of missiles as well, which is really cool. It's got a tractor beam and 3 remote mining lasers that we saw, which is pretty cool. And so that's it for the specs, man. So really flexible. It's supremely flexible. Has it made the mole obsolete? I'm saying at the moment, yes, it has. If this ship came out now, why would you even bother with a mole, to be honest? But we have to see how all the economy and the refining and all that sort of plays out, and you know, we can reserve our judgments until then. I just wanted to show you where it sits in the landscape of things. Here you've got the Orion on the left hand side, and you can see the size of this thing at 341 meters. The Arrastra is 124 meters, so less than half the length of an Orion. And then you've got the Mole, which is the medium-sized mining ship. And I've just whacked in the Galaxy, which has got a refining capability. And you've got the Expanse, which has got a refining capability. This Arrastra has got the capability of, you know, these ships combined. It's a very powerful ship. It's got great defense, and then add to that, you can put vehicles, and it's got storage as well. I mean, that's just amazing. So let's move on to the Q&A. I actually held off making this video until this Q&A came out. So how do the Arrastra's refining capabilities compare to ships like the Expanse, Orion, and the Galaxy? So the Arrastra has 2 reactors, 2 refining reactors. So you can put 2 consecutive orders within the ship. These reactors are much larger than the 6 reactors found on the Expanse, which is that small MISC ship. Each reactor on the Arrastra is able to refine around the same amount an Expanse can in one go. So each reactor, so remember it's got 2 reactors, so it refines twice the amount of minerals than the Expanse can do. But then the Expanse has got 6 small reactors. You can maybe have the flexibility of optimizing the reactor to focus on certain minerals or something like that. Compared to the Galaxy, the refining module, these reactors are about the same. So, and obviously compared to the Orion, it's a lot smaller. Is the Arrastra able to refine Quantanium? It is able to refine Quantanium, but it's not able to funnel it into its own fuel tank, guys. So you just sell Quantanium as any other commodity. How does the Arrastra's mining capabilities compare to the Prospector, Mole, and Orion? Well, it's in between the Mole and the Orion. So we have the Prospector, Mole, Arrastra, and Orion in terms of size. And as you go up the chain, you can crack bigger rocks from greater distances and all that sort of stuff. So that's obviously stuff that CIG has to continuously rebalance and stuff, not only the ships and stuff, but the resources and environment that these ships interact with. Other mining lasers on the Arrastra bespoke? No, they're not. They're size 3 mining lasers that have upgrade paths. You can swap them out and things like that, which is great. Will it be possible to take materials from ore bags onto this ship to refine it, such as the ones on a prospector? So can you take a prospector ore bag and put it onto this ship and refine it? The answer is yes. So this can be a standalone refining ship as well. So that's why I kind of laughed when they said the role is just a mining ship. This is a mining / refinery. There's, make no doubt about it. You can not only refine the stuff that you mine yourself, you can refine the stuff that other people have mined on their ships, transfer it across. So you can support very large mining operations while you do your own thing at the same time. Extremely OP, guys. Are any of the mining lasers able to be controlled by the pilot? That's a negative. Does the ship have VTOL? It does, which are these things here. You can sort of tell that they'll rotate down, I think. Does the ship have a dedicated vehicle bay, or is the 64 SKU cargo bay used for that? So again, extremely flexible. You have space for 2 Rock DSs, but you still have your 64 SKU of cargo around that space as well. So that's really nice. Does the external ore storage, which is that 512 SKU, use standard SKU containers, or does it use ore bags or something else? No, it uses standard SKU containers. So it's kind of, you never see a picture of the underbelly, but there's 500 SKU of boxes somewhere underneath this ship. So it uses standard SKU containers that you can then probably pull out with tractor beams and transfer them here. So again, you can interoperate within the normal cargo refactor and stuff like that, which again, adds, I mean, every ship should be like this. So I'm not going to say it's OP. Every ship should be within this standard. Which seats can control the missiles? Only the pilot. Are there any other entry points? As we've already said, there's the ramp at the back, there's docking collars on the side, and a central crew elevator as well, which is awesome. And what amenities are on board? It doesn't have a medical bed. It's got obviously crew quarters. It's got some, it doesn't have an armory, but it does have storage. And it's got obviously like a dining room or kitchen or whatever, as you would expect. So yeah, guys, that is the Arrastra, guys. A very flexible, quite versatile ship that I'm personally going to be, I already have melted my mole and my prospector for this ship, because I get them back as loaners anyway. And I'm super excited. This is a very versatile ship, and it can do a lot. It can refine. It can do some very significant mining with its size 3 turrets. It can deploy vehicles on the ground. It's got a pretty good defense as well, with 3 turrets that have 4 guns on them each, so quite capable of defending itself. Yeah, I just hope it hasn't made a whole bunch of other ships obsolete, but we'll have to see how it all plays out. I don't want to comment and theory craft on stuff I don't know yet. So anyway, guys, that's a deeper look into the Arrastra. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves. This has been Mozsta from Sydney. Bye for now.